Yes, okay. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so do you remember anything of the Great Depression years?
Yes, I remember something about the Great Depression years.
Okay,
Well, what do you remember about
yeah.
it?
I was quite well insulated from it, in as much as when the Depression started, I was a baby.
Okay.
So, well, how can you remember? I mean, is your memory so good you can remember back to when you were a baby?
No, not really.
Well, but I guess, let's see, you were born in 31, right?
That's right.
And the Depression went to 41. That's what Catherine told me.
Essentially.
Okay, so you would have been a kid, a small kid, a young kid, right?
Quite young, yeah.
All right, so what sticks in your mind most about it?
You understand, I didn't know. I say the same thing is true of my sister, only more so.
Right, because she was even younger than you.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
3 years younger. So, let's see, what was I saying?
Well, you guys were essentially well-to-do, right? I mean, pretty well. I mean,
depends on your criteria, if you will.
well, I mean, with Grandpa being a college professor.
We were better off than most, if
Right.
that's what you're saying.
Right.
That's
Right.
no doubt true.
So did you guys have to struggle? I mean, was there ever a problem with not having enough to eat, or?
Not during the Depression, no.
Okay.
Did your family like save money?
Did what?
Did your family like save money, or was that?
Oh yes, I think we saved money. We had a mortgage on our dwelling, which was lifted, I don't know, by about 1945.
We're talking today.
Okay.
Okay.
So we hardly were destitute, let's put it that way.
Okay.
But so there was always food on the table, right?
There was always food on the table, yes.
What was the first question?
Well, we're talking about the Depression.
What was the first one?
About
if he remembered anything about the Depression,
Oh, okay.
like did it touch?
I did not.
Did they have? Did anybody? I know back then they had a lot of like hobos, like stopping at houses.
We had people and your maternal grandparents had people stopping by the back door and
Really?
ask if
So
we
your
could help them
parents,
out.
so your parents and Mom's parents,
Yes.
they both would stop the door and ask for help.
That's right. Remember how I told you the Baba never turned anybody away?
Yeah.
That they would come up the steps and they knew that they could get a cup of coffee and a slice of bread from her.
Yeah.
So then she'd say yes, but she'd never ask them to come in.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that.
They sat on the steps and then they
She-
thanked her
And then they were on
and
their way.
left. Now that I remember.
What about, do you remember anybody coming to your house?
Oh yes, not so many people stopped by our house probably as mothers.
Okay.
And I think the reason for that was, obviously, we lived in a much bigger and more expensive house, so
Okay.
perhaps that intimidated them.
Yeah,
some of the
intimidating, yeah.
people.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
as far as remember anything of the Great Depression, we were too young.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made as big an impression on you as if you were older, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
We didn't
All right.
know anything. Okay.
All right, what's next?
Okay. So like, what would you guys do for fun
What?
when you were kids?
When you were kids, what'd you do for fun?
Well, we played games with the neighborhood kids.
Like games outside?
Yes, and we
Like kickball? What kind of games? Like the kinds where you like would hit a ball in the street with a stick ball?
no, we never played stickball. We had
It's a game.
we did have bats and balls.
All right, so baseball?
Well, softball, actually.
Okay, okay.
If you please.
All right.
And did you
So
go
we
sledding or
had
anything
that,
like
and
that?
we ran around and played hide and go seek and this kind of thing.
And when,
Yeah.
in the winter time, did you guys go sledding?
Oh yes, we went sledding. There were numerous hills in the area.
Okay.
Is she going to write some of the stuff?
She's recording.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Using
okay.
my
I was
iPad.
gonna say, she's not gonna remember all of that.
No,
Yeah.
that's why she's recording it.
Yep.
What we did, you know, we were in an ethnic neighborhood, so the women at night, they'd sit on the porch steps, you know,
Right.
2 or 3 of them, and then under the street light, we would make chalk thing, and we would use a stone, like to.
Play hopscotch.
Yes, different things like that. And
Okay.
then the little boy next door, he was a little younger than I was. Every day we went down to dam that you know, the big sewer. We didn't know it was all sewage. We didn't know it, and it would go into the creek. So we were determined we would dam that thing, you know,
Yeah.
push the dirt over, and of
That's
course.
just what you needed, a flood in your
There was other
backyard.
stuff coming down there that wasn't.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, that's
And
okay.
then, you know, my friend Bernice, remember, the one who's, I'm hoping
Right.
she's still alive, we're still in touch with each other.
Right.
But she and I, we wanted to be housekeepers, so they had a little shed in the backyard, and Bernice and I thought we'd make it a home, you know.
Yeah.
And oh, Mr. Campbell was not nice, he came and he chased us out. And we went into the basement to do it, but what she and I did, we would always go up by the railroad tracks and we would pick flowers and squeeze them and make perfume.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, that's
Make perfume.
cute.
She was always mad at me because I wouldn't play with her as much, because I'd tell her, she reminded me, I didn't know this, she said, I'd tell her, Monday I have to play with so-and-so, Tuesday I have to play with so-and-so, and she
You were
was,
so popular, Mom, your social calendar, right?
yeah, okay, so that's
All right,
essentially.
okay, that's good.
Oh, what we did do when we were young though, Aunt Helen and I, it was Aunt Helen's friend, she took me everywhere, Aunt Helen, and we would go to Penn, the next town, and they
Mhm.
had a store, Willicky's,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was a, like where Gigi used to work, Hawk and Smith, all the excess, like coal dust or something, they'd pile it up. We didn't know we'd go on top and play, and we thought we were on top of a volcano. Yeah, we would play there.
Wow,
Okay,
okay,
that's
all
about
right,
all I can remember.
that's good stuff, all right.
Okay, so then, how old were you whenever World War II started?
How old were you when World War II started?
I
When did it
was,
start? What, 14?
When you say when World War II started.
Like, do you mean like started in Europe or
Are
started?
you talking about American involvement in it, or are you
Yeah,
talking
which-
about the
You know
actual
what, I'm
beginning
gonna
of the
have to
war
excuse
itself?
myself again.
All right.
American
Listen, I
involvement,
I'll
I
be
guess.
back in a minute.
Okay.
You let Dad talk and I'll pick up
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, American involvement, American involvement, Dad, so I guess
All
Pearl
right,
Harbor.
American involvement in
It was in
World
41, right?
started December
December
7th,
7th,
1941.
Okay, so you
Then
would have
you
been
would've
10, right?
So
10
I was
years?
10, yes,
10.
you're quite right.
Okay,
Yeah, and I would have been
9,
9,
almost 10,
almost 10.
yeah?
When was
Okay, I'll
this?
be right out.
1941, December, Pearl Harbor, she would have been turning 10.
Oh, she was,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah, you were 10, she would have been 9, almost 10,
Mhm.
okay?
Okay,
What's the next
so,
question?
Now,
Like-
wait a minute.
Well, you were born in 31,
I was born in 31, and when were you born?
I was born in 59,
All right, that makes sense.
right? Okay.
Okay.
All
okay,
right.
so how did the war affect your everyday life?
How did the war affect your daily life? Did it touch you in any way? I mean, all the way down to Allentown?
Well, as the war continued, rationing affected most people.
Which means, like foodstuffs, You weren't,
Well, there were lots of things that were rationed. If you please, nylon stockings were, for example.
okay, well, that wouldn't have affected you directly, right, Dad? Maybe
Not really.
Grandma, but not you,
No,
okay?
I
Oh, bummer, I'm out of nylon hose, stockings. But there was like, I mean, wasn't, like butter, like you could,
yes,
butter was rationed,
butter
right?
was rationed. Now, let's see, is that right? I think it was, but
I seem to
anyway,
remember reading that, butter.
for some reason, butter, yellow butter, if you please. This may sound silly, but this is the way it was.
So yellow butter was rationed?
Well, all right. The butter, the normal butter that you would buy in the store was yellow.
Right, right.
Now, after a period of time, you couldn't buy yellow butter in the store. What you bought was a little packet of a little packet of oil, which you then mixed in with the butter.
Okay.
Now, this didn't make an awful lot of sense to me, but
Okay, well, I mean,
the powers that be, it
Right,
apparently made
right.
sense to.
so can you think of anything else? Can you remember anything else that was rationed?
Oh yes, tires were rationed. What else was rationed? Tires.
Any kind of tin, metal? Any kind of metal?
Such stuff was not exactly rationed. We had various drives to collect
Okay.
such materials.
So that it could be used for
so they could be used for
weapons or
manufacturing
munitions or whatever.
production.
Okay, all right. Mom said that she, one thing she distinctly remembers is planes flying in formation over her house.
Yes. Now the interesting part of that is
Do you ever?
we did not. We supposedly would have been in that flight
You would
path,
think.
but the truth of the matter is, I have no such recollection.
Really?
And she does now.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know, maybe they went way south or way north of.
I don't
instead
think
of-
so, because after all, we were not all that far. We didn't live all that far from.
No, you guys were in really literally almost a direct line, east-west.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, all right, well, I don't know, okay.
Okay. So, did your family help with the war effort? Like, I know you mentioned the drives that you would
We helped with
do.
the war effort by collecting various materials, such as I've already mentioned. For example, we had paper drives, and we had.
Now, what question did I miss?
What was it?
How
How did the war affect you?
Yeah.
How did, all right.
Well, no, Mom, we're just telling Mom.
Okay, listen to Dad.
Okay, well, we're on another question, Mom.
Oh, okay. As far as I'm concerned, we didn't know much. The only thing we knew about the war was that Uncle Kaj went into the war.
Oh, okay.
And we knew nothing about it. We had no radio, we had no television, we had no newspapers. Our parents couldn't read.
Okay.
We knew nothing about it.
Okay, but how
Only
did it
that
affect
word-
you? Like Dad said, well, butter was rationed and
Yes.
nylon stockings were rationed.
Yes,
So
but you see, none of that affected me.
because
Our family, we were too poor.
to even worry about that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
The only
okay.
thing I can remember is that we didn't have butter, and that's when oleo started,
Yeah.
and you would put a little dye in it. to make
Okay.
it-
Yeah, that's what I was just telling her.
Yeah. she
Yeah,
said
to make
that.
it look
Like butter.
like butter.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You know, the country really mobilized.
Oh, yeah, that's from what
I
I've
mean,
read,
and
yeah.
we've seen this on the
It
documentaries.
really came together.
I mean, the country mobilized.
Yeah,
They, you know, they converted all these factories
yeah.
into, you know, making, I mean, they put out like hundreds or thousands of like jeeps and, you know,
Yeah, I think,
military.
I read one place that Bethlehem Steel was making a warship a day or something.
A lot of these, they,
I mean, they
It
I
was
just,
don't know about a
24
warship a day.
well,
It depends on how you define warship.
it was just so
The
phenomenal.
fact of the matter is they produced ships at a remarkably high rate.
Yeah, yeah,
yes, but see, they had around 24-hour work.
right.
They had ships around the clock,
Yeah,
everywhere.
right.
And then the country mobilized by saving grease,
okay, yeah.
metal. They had centers for collection.
Yeah, Dad said that he had paper drives, they had paper drives and, what, tin
Anything you
cans you
could.
collected,
Any what?
tin cans for the.
Oh, yes,
Everything,
yes.
any kind of metal,
Yeah.
anything that could be used for munitions
Right,
or,
okay,
you know, or vehicles.
okay, all right, what's next?
Alright, so I guess Grandpa already, or Grandma
Oh, wait,
already.
excuse me, you know what, I'll tell you another thing. They also sold victory stamps, that you could get them back, and savings bonds, they called them war bonds.
Oh, okay.
And that you
Oh.
donated money, you
Oh,
know,
you gave money,
for the war
okay.
effort.
Oh, okay, and then you got it back as a savings bond?
Well, you got the money back eventually, but they
Right.
had, like, in school, you could get a victory stamp maybe for a penny or two or something
okay.
like that.
Oh,
Victory stamps, you remember them, Stanley?
Oh, certainly,
Yeah.
certainly.
that's neat. Okay.
Generally speaking, the stamps were for people who didn't have too much money, so they couldn't buy a whole
bonds.
bond
Oh,
at any
okay.
one time. They just bought stamps, and after they accumulated a certain number of stamps, and they could turn
could
them
get a
in
bond.
for
Oh.
bonds.
Okay, so it was on
Country
the first
really,
okay.
I mean, the little I remember of it, I know they mobilized, you know.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Mary took us to a museum in Cincinnati once where we saw all these things, the war bonds, the
Yeah.
stamps.
I went with you, I think we went with you too.
And you
Yeah.
could see all the
Yeah.
butter, you know, the
Yeah.
oil
All the
and
things.
everything.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, that was
and
a
then
cool
we
museum.
would, and then we would know, you know, certain times where you could go uptown, you know, to
Mhm.
Jeanette, because they were going to get butter in.
oh,
And then you would go up and you could get it, you know,
Mm.
word of mouth. They
like
got,
black market butter?
no, it was.
It was just, it was just a treat,
They got,
okay.
because the supply was short.
Oh, okay.
I mean, everything went for the war
War,
effort.
yeah, for the troops, yeah,
Everything
Yeah.
went for the war effort. Okay.
all right.
Okay, so Grandma, you said that Uncle Kaj fought in the war?
Did I what?
No, Uncle Kosh didn't fight in World War II, he fought in the Korean War.
No,
Oh,
no,
yes,
no,
Uncle
World War
Kosh
II.
did.
Oh, he did?
Yes, Uncle
Oh.
Eddie too, and Uncle Roy.
Well, I knew
Did
Uncle
he
Eddie.
he actually did see some combat, Kosh, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, I have it written down, and
Oh, I thought that
remember
it was,
once he told us that, what did he tell us about?
He was
Japanese
in
or
that
something.
section of the Orient.
Yeah,
well, he bought, was that when he brought back kimonos for all you girls? He was over in China, somewhere, right?
You're right. He
Japan?
was in what
Yeah.
amounts to part of China.
China, yeah,
You're quite right.
okay.
yeah, he brought that back, but I think he was on a submarine, but something he was telling us about walking, or
I
that they
think
had to wash their backs.
he helped make the so-called Burma Road.
Oh, okay.
if I'm not
I
mistaken.
don't know if he did that or not.
He was in that Burma theater of the
Okay.
war at
Yeah.
any
Well,
rate.
that's over
Because
there by
I can
China.
remember him telling us on a porch once, and I have it somewhere on the tape, that they had to watch their backs from being shot. You know, the snipers.
Oh, yes, that doesn't
But I can
surprise me.
remember him telling us that he was on a submarine and there was a terrible storm.
Mm.
And it must have been, you know how you have these tsunamis there
Yeah,
in that area?
yeah.
He might have been part of
Oh,
that.
gosh. Oh, okay.
Okay, did I go to college? Did you?
No,
wanna
wait,
know?
what's, is that the question?
Not yet. No, we're almost there. But
Okay.
Are we
Okay.
jumping the gun on you?
Okay.
Well, now we're like in the 50s, and so that was
That was
Yeah.
a great decade,
Yeah.
because that's
What
when
was
I
that?
was born, the
the
50s,
50s.
the
Oh, is
decade
it-
of the
we're through
50s.
with the war?
We're through
Yeah,
the
we're
war,
through the
yeah.
war.
Unless you have any other recollections you'd like to offer, but,
The only thing I could say is, it didn't affect our family, like, because we didn't know much of anything.
right.
But I can remember I told you about seeing the planes going over.
Yeah.
We knew that every so often, and I can remember one, but it might have been more, that I looked up at the sky, and we didn't have any jets then, it was all propeller planes, so these might have been C-130s, I'm not certain, but they were transport planes, the big ones, you know, with about, how many engines, about 6 engines, the C-130?
No, not, 4 would be the
C-130.
most.
Oh, I don't know, well, whatever. But they would fly in formation and the sky was just filled with these planes going to the East Coast.
Yeah,
And you knew something was serious.
right.
You know, I mean, even then I knew it was serious. And later on, I mean, it made sense that they were transporting troops from the West Coast to the East Coast to go to the European theater.
Right, yeah.
Or else, yeah, because from the West Coast they would be going to Japan.
Japan, yeah.
But this was during the, you know, the European theater, you know, where France and Germany and all that,
Yeah.
they were transporting them. So that I remember, and I can remember when the war was over, somebody came up the alley, two houses down, maybe from Oranges or someone, and told us that the war was over.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we knew.
And that's how you knew. Word of mouth. Okay. All right.
That was it.
All right.
Okay.
Of course, we got that information from the radio.
Radio, yeah.
Radio, okay.
Yeah. They were well-to-do. They had a radio.
I don't think we had
Well, we had a
TV
radio
at
too,
that
but
time.
Oh,
we had.
but did Bubba and Gigi understand?
They didn't understand
They didn't
it.
understand it.
My mother listened to this wonderful priest from Chicago who spoke in Polish.
Oh, okay.
I told you that every Sunday afternoon she would listen to him, and then she would sing the Polish hymns with him.
Oh,
Aw.
that's nice. All right, let's move on to the 50s
Oh,
then.
you're ready to get into the
I'm ready because
50s.
this is my decade.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is it?
The 50s.
So
All right.
the 50s. What do you remember about the 50s?
Well, it was exciting for me.
that was
having
grandma.
my
That's
good
right.
old time. What do I remember? I just had a ball. I mean, I had so much fun because from high school I stayed in New York for a year, not quite a year, and came back and I joined, and Helen told me that there's a youth group that's, you know, the church the young people are starting to go to, and this was a church where